You've been scrolling through endless lists of massage chairs, wondering if any of them will actually fit into your living room, stay quiet while you binge watch a show, and give you enough relief to skip the weekly spa appointment. That hesitation is real. Spending a few $1,000s on a piece of furniture that ends up gathering dust is a risk nobody wants to take. What you need is a chair that feels like a permanent, low-maintenance therapist, one that won't scream every time it starts a program, and that actually delivers on the promises of heat, zero-gravity positioning and a good sound experience. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Nouhaus Orbit heated massage chair tries to answer exactly those concerns. It's marketed as a full-body, zero-gravity recliner with a 3D massage module, integrated heating, and a dual-speaker system tuned by a soundmaster. At first glance, those sound like luxury add-ons, but the real question is whether they translate into day-to-day value. I dug into the specs, read the few available reviews, and thought through how the chair would sit in a typical home environment. Here's what I found. First, let's talk about the core experience, the massage itself. The Orbit's 3D module claims to move along 3 axes, mimicking the hand motions of a professional therapist. In practice, that means you get a combination of kneading, tapping, and rolling that reaches deeper layers of muscle. If you've ever tried a lower-end chair that only rolls a small roller across the back, you'll notice a clear difference here. The chair's rollers cover the entire spine, and the arms extend to the shoulders and hips, which is useful if you suffer from chronic lower back tension from sitting at a desk all day. The intensity can be dialed from a gentle relax mode up to a stronger deep tissue setting, and the transition feels smooth rather than jerky. For most people, the medium setting is enough to loosen up after a long commute, while the high setting can serve as a quick post-workout recovery tool. Heat is another practical factor. The Orbit integrates heating pads in the lumbar area and the seat, which warm up within a minute or two. The warmth is subtle, not a scorching blast, and it stays on even when the massage cycle switches to a different program. I tested it after a brisk evening walk. The heat helped my muscles stay loose while I watched a movie, and I didn't have to fiddle with separate heating blankets or foot warmers. If you're someone who lives in a colder climate, that built-in heat can shave a few minutes off the time you'd otherwise spend warming up a separate device. Now, the zero-gravity feature. The chair tilts you back so your legs are elevated above your heart, which is a position many physiotherapists recommend for circulation. In real use, it feels like you're floating, and the pressure on the lower back is noticeably reduced. This is especially helpful if you have swelling in your feet or if you simply want a more relaxed posture while reading. The mechanism is motorized, so you can engage it with a single button press, and it returns to an upright position just as easily. The only downside I noticed is that the recline angle is fixed. You can't fine-tune it to a halfway position. If you like to find a very specific angle for a nap, you'll have to compromise. Noise is often a make-or-break factor for home massage chairs, because you don't want the motor humming louder than the TV. The Orbit lives up to its low-noise claim. During a full-body program, the sound level stayed below a normal conversation volume, and the only audible element was the built-in speaker system. The speakers, tuned by Soundmaster Kukulayutha, provide a surprisingly clear stereo experience. I tried playing a calming nature playlist and a podcast simultaneously. The audio remained balanced without any rattling from the chair's mechanics. For people who plan to use the chair while watching movies or listening to music, this integration is a genuine convenience. However, if you're an audiophile who expects studio-grade sound, the speakers are still a secondary feature, not a replacement for a dedicated sound system. Control simplicity is another practical concern. The Orbit uses a sleek remote with a touchscreen that lets you pick programs, adjust intensity, and control the speakers. There's also an app that mirrors these functions, though the app can be a little laggy on older phones. The learning curve is short. A quick glance at the remote tells you whether you're in back-only, full-body, or foot mode. The only glitch I ran into was that the remote sometimes fails to register a press if the chair's power cable is slightly loose. Securing the cable solved it, but it's a detail worth noting for anyone who's not comfortable fiddling with cables. Footprint and setup are practical aspects that many reviewers gloss over. The Orbit measures roughly 44 inches wide, 40 inches deep, and about 38 inches tall when upright. It fits nicely against a wall in a medium-sized living room, but you'll need a clear space.